Dragon Ball ZF, Babidi's Empire, Bibidi's Legacy continues. Chapter 1, The Majin Invasion. Part 1, Trunks' Bond. 2 years had passed since Trunks, the lone protector of a ruined Earth, had defeated the monstrous androids 17 and 18. Their reign of terror was over, and slowly, painfully, the planet began to rebuild. Cities that were once nothing more than ash and rubble now reached back toward the sky. Life returned, though scars remained deep in the hearts of the survivors. Trunks carried the burden of those years heavily on his shoulders. He had lost so much: his mentor Gohan, his father's peace of mind, and an entire generation of innocent people. Still, he had given the world hope again. And in the silence that followed the chaos, he began to search, not for more battles, but for understanding, for closure. Trunks then made a decision. With Trunks' knowledge from the past timeline he had traveled to, he knew the designated location. Hidden away in a forgotten laboratory buried beneath the mountains was a containment pod, still powered after all these years. Inside it, Android 16, the silent giant who, in another timeline, had once fought bravely to protect the Earth and tried to stop Cell. Trunks stared through the glass at the peaceful expression on the android's face. "You don't belong in this timeline, but I know who you are," Trunks murmured, "and I think you'd want to protect this world too." Using schematics he'd salvaged from old Red Ribbon archives, and with Bulma's tools, Trunks carefully reactivated the pod and awakened the dormant warrior. As the machinery hissed and the chamber unsealed, Android 16's eyes flickered open. "Status report," 16 said, his voice mechanical but calm. "You're safe," Trunks said. "My name's Trunks. I'm not your enemy." Android 16 sat up slowly, his eyes scanning his surroundings, then focused sharply on Trunks. "Where is Goku?" 16 says in a robotic tone. Trunks hesitated. "Dead. He died from a heart virus years ago." Android 16 went quiet. After a long pause, he lowered his head slightly. "Then there's no purpose for me." "You're wrong," Trunks replied firmly. "You were created for a purpose, yeah, but that doesn't mean that's all you are. I freed you because I believe you're more than a weapon. You deserve a chance at life, at peace." There was a silence between them. Finally, Android 16 looked up again. "Why risk it? You know what I am." Trunks smiled, a little sadly, "Because I've seen too many people judged by what they were built for, not what they chose to become." That moment marked the beginning of an unlikely friendship. 16, "It might not make sense to you right now, but I've seen the future, or the past, whatever," Trunks said, his voice calm but firm. "All I know is that you're capable of great things, not just as a fighter, but as someone who protects life. You were never just a machine." Android 16 stood silently, his eyes scanning Trunks, not with suspicion, but quiet curiosity. He looked around at the ruined lab, at the fractured world outside the shattered walls. "I was created to kill Goku," 16 said, his voice low and even. "But if you say that you have foreseen my future and I had a positive impact on Earth, then I won't argue. I put my belief in you to lead me to a new and greater purpose." "Yeah, that's the spirit," Trunks replies. Trunks gave a small, hopeful nod. "Then come with me. I'll take you to Capsule Corp where you'll meet my mother. I'm sure she'll like you. We'll explain everything." Android 16 nods with a slight smirk across his face.